Hey Jackson, how are you?
Good.
Good.
All right.
You've been working hard for this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're here with Jackson. Where Jackson has been working really, really hard to save up and do his chores and all sorts of stuff, and he's been wanting a bearded dragon for how long now?
At least a year or
At
two.
least a year or two. So, okay. So we're just going to go over a couple little things on getting started with this bearded dragon. Okay.
Right.
So this is actually what's called an adolescent. Okay. So
Right.
this isn't a juvenile. He's a little older. And you said you wanted a cool one, so I ordered you a cool one, right? Yeah, he's super cool, right? So we're going to start off. This is a 20 long aquarium. Now you had an aquarium at home, and you had a bow front aquarium, which I didn't realize it was a bow front when we started talking about this. And we need to be able to have a lid on it, and that won't really work for mom and dad and having a dog and your lizard running around your house. No, we don't want that. No, we don't want that. So, all right, so we're going to get this set up here for you, okay? So a couple of things that we talked about off screen. We talked about different types of substrate, right?
Yeah.
So do you remember, like, there was some carpet. Do you remember why we didn't choose carpet?
Because it can get like moldy and you can get diseases and stuff.
That's right. So carpet can breed a lot of bacteria and stuff like that. So we're going to go with a real natural substance, and this is what's called a desert stone. Okay, do you mind if we put it in here so we can make it look cool? All right, we're going to do it. So one of the things that we're doing here is we've kind of picked out some decorations to really kind of make this thing your own, right? And I think that's really cool. And that's one of the best fun thing about finding a new pet and everything else like that is recreating this idea. So we're going to set this up now. This bag of substrate actually will last you about 6+ months. It'll last a long time. Okay, so when you're using this, we just want to spread it out and kind of make do with whatever we want to do, and want to make this really kind of fun and as natural as we can possibly do. Now, you picked out a couple things here. You picked out this really cool piece of wood here. Okay, so bearded dragons, you know where they come from? You've done some research, I know, but you know where they come from? So they're native to Australia. Is Australia hot or is Australia cold?
Hot. So we need heat lamps.
Yep. So we're going to have some heat lamps over here too. Okay. So we have, when you're dealing with a enclosure that we're trying to replicate this natural environment, right? We want to have a cool side of the aquarium and we want to have a warm side of the aquarium. And why do you think that is?
Because if he gets too hot, he needs to come to the cold side.
Absolutely. So you picked out a big water bowl.
Yeah.
That's good. We didn't even rehearse that.
No.
Oh, that's awesome. So you picked out a water bowl, right? And so do you think the water bowl should be on the hot side, or do you think the water bowl should be on the cool side? On the cool side, right? You're exactly right. So we're going to put it over here. Okay? Now, bearded dragons are not big bathers necessarily, okay? But the water is going to help in helping him shed and keeping his that shedding from happening. They're not big drinkers, so you're not going to really see them at their water bowl like drinking and lapping up. Most of his moisture is going to come from his vegetables and his
Crickets.
crickets. Absolutely, right? Okay. So we've also got a couple rocks that you picked out in some decorations, right? So I think this would be kind of cool. We'll get it up here so it's up against there. How do you think you want your rocks in here? Any idea? We had some more.
We could put them like over there.
You put over there. Maybe make like a little cave or something.
Yeah.
I like that idea. You know, I think you can be as creative when you want at home. Maybe this one is just a decoration piece, you know, that kind of thing. And you can be as creative when you want to this at home. So I had kind of thought about this in my head. I thought this would be kind of cool,
Yeah.
you know, right there. Now you can use real plants for your bearded dragon if you get really kind of crazy. Like they can use like ficus plants, or you can use like different types of cactus and stuff like that.
Oh,
So yeah, if you and your mom are maybe at the local farmer's market or something, you see that would be kind of cool.
I have
Okay,
cactus.
you have a cactus.
Yeah.
So just make sure before you put your cactus in there that you go online and do a research. Make sure whatever cactus you have is okay. If you want to put it in there, okay. So when you have a water bowl in here, we don't want to have it so full with water that he gets buried in there. Okay, we want to keep it nice and shallow, right? Okay. All right, so we've got our basic setup here. Really simple and easy. It's not real complicated, really, at all either, is it? No. So why don't you talk about the calcium? You remember we talked a little bit about the calcium?
So basically with calcium, before you feed him like the crickets or vegetables, you pour this on him so he doesn't get like diseases or anything.
The big word is called metabolic bone disease.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kind of like you drinking your milk. You drink your milk?
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. My teenage son, who is 17 years old, still drinks like a gallon of milk a day, I swear. So, okay. So we're going to have a screen lid here, and I promised your mom that I would put some locks on it. We're not going to put locks on it here for conversation's sake because, the cool guy is right here, right? Yeah, okay. So we've got a lamp fixture here, and we're not going to take this out here for people to see, okay? But we have two different lamps, okay? And there's a reason that we're going to have two different ones, okay? We're going to use two different light bulbs here, okay? So this one here, this funky shaped one, this is what's called UVB. Yep. And where do you get UV rays? Do you know?
Sun.
The sun, correct. Okay. So for purposes of your bearded dragon, he's not going to be outside all day long, correct? Right. So he needs to have his UVB. And then this one here is called what? A basking spotlight, right? What do you think the basking spotlight gives him?
It's like a heat lamp.
It's his heat lamp. Correct. That's exactly right. So because he's from Australia, he wants it
to be hot.
He wants it nice and hot. That's exactly correct. All right. So on this here, there are two different switches. Okay. So this is your responsibility to remember this. Okay. So we want to run these at the same time, but like 12 hours a day. So in the morning when you wake up, and then before you go to bed, you turn them off.
Right.
Can you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You can get a timer. Like if you go to like one of our wonderful local hardware stores, you can pick up what's called like a Christmas tree timer, and you can set it that way if your mom and dad want to. Or if you just want to make sure you do it, morning and night, then you could do it that way. Okay. So this light bulb here, UV, will continue to shine forever and ever and ever, but it only lasts about a year and a half. Okay. So at some point in time when you're back in the store, how old are you now?
10.
When's your birthday?
June 13th.
June 13th. So we'll say not this next birthday, but the next birthday when you'll be 12, right? Did I do that math right? That's when you need to buy a new one.
All right.
That's a good way to remember that, okay? For those of you buying this stuff at home, I always tell people, instead of saving receipts, write with a little Sharpie the date that you bought it on the light bulb, because then you remember, okay? All right. So what else do you think we need here besides the lizard on your shoulder? You show everyone the bearded dragon on your shoulder? So you've been saving up and working hard for this, okay? So I know your mom is concerned about the amount of work that it's going to take, okay? And then you're being a responsible 10-year-old young man. I know that you're going to do 99% of the work, right? All right. So from a waste standpoint, they don't pee and poop a whole awful lot. Nothing that you're going to see a whole awful lot, okay? Just keep your gravel kind of mixed up and stuff like that. Like I said, that rock bag will last a long time, okay? So we're going to feed him, okay? So you are going to have to pick up bugs every once in a while.
Okay.
So normally I've got these crickets in a box, which are kind of nice. Saves mom from running to the store every single day, okay? But we're going to also do vegetables, and you can feed the vegetables anywhere in your enclosure here. Make just a little pile of them. Or if you want, you can actually just set it right in the water too. So when you're doing vegetables, you want to make sure that you look for he'll eat dandelions if there's dandelions without chemicals on them, okay? But any of your dark leafy greens, romaine, cilantro, spinach, okay? But you don't need to feed him a whole ton because, how big is he? Is he gonna eat a whole head of lettuce? No, of course not. So he'll probably eat 2-3 crickets a day, okay? So before we go home, I'll probably set you up with a little container, and we'll put some bugs in it there so you can take it home and have them at home, okay? Now, you also have to be responsible not to let the crickets out in the house, though. Yeah, right? Otherwise, Motley will be chasing crickets around all day long. So, right? Okay. So, this is what we have. This is a real simple setup. Great for kids. A bearded dragon is an amazing pet for kids. It teaches wonderful responsibility. And Jackson's done a lot of research himself. But this is something that doesn't require a lot necessarily from mom and dad either, minus the fact that you're going to have to pick up bugs. But otherwise than that, this is a great pet for kids. It's easy to use, and it's just a great learning reptile. So, Jackson, any questions that you have right away? You ready to go? Awesome. All right. There you go.